Welcome to the Church of the Week program on AM 630, The Word. Each week, we highlight a different local church or ministry impacting our community. Now let's welcome our Church of the Week host, Chad Schapiro, and today's guest.
Hey everybody, this is Chad Schapiro, host of Church of the Week, and I want to first of all thank AM 630 The Word for even having this on here. We have so many great programs. I get a chance to work with Texas Baptist, which is a state convention. I'm the area kind of guy down here, but also help with something called Pastor Strong, and that's where I get to partner with my brother that's here today in a lot of different ways. We have Terrin Phillips from Refuge Church. Refuge Church
of San Antonio. Yeah, we are over the whole city.
The whole city, and they are doing some amazing things. Goodness. And so I can't wait for you to get a chance to hear from him and his story, his background, and how they're helping our city out. But if you are watching on Facebook, share this, like it, comment, get the word out there. Somebody from their church, if you could put the links, everything, because I want this church to be featured for everybody to see. Terrin and I go back farther than a lot of these pastors you might have seen me up here on. And so I thank you, brother. I thank you for your friendship. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your ministry. And before we get into it, man, I just want to know your story, because I know your story. I love hearing it. Tell them about where your church is first. Don't log off, okay? But if some of you guys, because I know the way it works, you come on here for like a minute, 2 minutes, and you're gone. So tell them where the church is, first of all.
We're in transition.
Okay.
We have been meeting at Crestview Baptist Church in Windcrest. And, man, a lot of things have happening. We are now moving back to Cibolo. We have 2 warehouse buildings that we're trying to get into, and we're going to build out. We have so many visions and dreams of what we want to do there, and so we're headed back to Cibolo. We feel like we've wandered in the desert for 10 years. And we've moved to all different locations. That's it. And God is it's been an incredible journey. And so we are so excited we're watching what he's doing, because we don't have the finances nor the capability, and we're seeing him do it right in front of us. So it's pretty amazing.
It's a great time for you to get involved if you are ready to not just be kind of hearers of the word, but to be a doer. And when a church is getting ready to take over a new territory, move into a new building, everybody, all hands on deck. And so it's a chance for you to come in there to keep up to where it is and the updates and everything. The Facebook page, the website, different things. How would they do that?
So you can go to our Facebook page, which is Refuge Church of San Antonio, or you can go to www.refugechurchsa.com. Okay. And all of our information is on there. Yeah. And, we're rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, so I definitely want you to, even just to support a church plant, get in there, right? Maybe make a commitment for 6 months or something just to be part of the launch team. What a great experience for you and your family possibly. So, pray about that, okay? But, my bro, talk about how you first came to faith, if you could go back. I don't know if you grew up in the church. I know some of the stories about sitting out in the car, having the football coach come, were you growing up in the church before that?
So I grew up in an independent Baptist church in Abilene, Texas, and it was a great and bad experience. It was very legalistic, but at the same time there were some great times. I was considered a trouble kid because I was always in the middle of something. But sports was where I found my acceptance. And so my family life was good and bad. My stepdad was abusive, verbal abusive at times, and so I found my hope and acceptance in football and track and basketball. I tried to play every sport to just stay away from home. So I would go to church and I would get in trouble. I just was so passionate, and everything was so legalistic that I just rebelled against that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't accept Christ until March 9th, 1991. So I graduated from high school in 87. I was hoping to play football at Texas Tech. That didn't work out. Yeah. So the pastor of our church was the president of Baptist Bible College in Springfield, Missouri. Okay. It's not named that anymore, but it was a college for independent Baptist churches. And so I went reluctantly. My brother had graduated from there. I lasted 2 years. I wound up getting kicked out of school. And so I had no place to go. I stayed in Springfield for a few months, and then I moved back to Abilene. I had no place to go. Yeah. And I stayed in my car for 13 months, slept in my car, ate pizza out of the back of a dumpster from Pizza Hut. I hate pizza now.
Yeah.
I don't like any youth rallies that have pizza, but it's all good. I eat it ever so often. But from that time, Hardin Simmons was looking to start a football program.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And I had a coach approach me up at Abilene High School and said, hey, man, you need to come. We'll help you out. I'm like, look at me. I was in a whole different mental state.
Wow, sure.
And so bottom line is I got into Hardin Simmons. They actually let me into school before school even started. And Coach Keeling and some of those coaches that were there at the time literally poured into me.
Wow.
And then, of course, God is in the middle of all this. I didn't have a relationship with Christ. I didn't care about him. I was so irritated and frustrated at my early years that I just didn't want to have anything to do with it, much less church. But those men mentored me, spoke truth to me, and I wound up breaking my ankle 2 weeks before the season started. So I was slated to be the starting tailback. It was going to be the Richie Cunningham come back to Abilene. My nickname was Dirty Red in high school, and I had red hair. I don't have it anymore. And I thought, this is going to be my time. And that's not what God had planned.
Wow.
So I break my ankle, go through all kinds of stuff, and I had signed up for youth-led revivals because in the summer I wasn't going to have any place to go.
Yeah.
And Chuck Flowers and James Lankford, who is now Oklahoma senator, took me under their wing. They took me through that summer. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Now, I had to back up the story when I accepted Christ was the second semester at Hardin Simmons, and I was just angry.
Yeah.
At a lot of things, and so me and some of my buddies had gone out partying. I'd gotten drunk, and I was laying on the side of the road in a ditch, and I was miserable. And the whole time I'm thinking about all my background, all this stuff. So I got back to my room, and my roommate, who was a guy named Tom Enlow, was the quarterback of our football team. And I said, Tom, I need a real relationship with Christ. And he said, well, Terrin, he starts doing the Romans Road, and of course at that time I didn't want to listen to him. I was like, hey, I know all that stuff. I got it. I need to pray and ask Christ in my life. Well, I did. It wasn't pretty. Used a couple of choice words with the Lord, but when I got up off my knees, I knew something was different. And so I didn't have a good relationship with my family or anything. And then I went and did the youth-led revival thing. After that summer, I was approached about being in a band and up in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I thought, man, I'd like to do that. So make a long story short, when I came to know Christ was at Hardin Simmons, and Hardin Simmons was huge for me because not only the coaches but many of the students, Pat Smith, a great brother of mine who just, man, they put their foot where the sun didn't shine.
Wow.
Because that's what I needed.
Yeah,
I was a football player. Yeah. I was passionate. I was rebellious. I didn't want to listen to anybody. And it took guys that weren't athletes that were willing to speak truth to me. Mm-hmm. And so from that, those kind of experiences are exactly how I do ministry.
Yeah,
So
right.
I know we'll probably get into some of that, but that was my experience. And so when I came to know Christ, these guys began to mentor me, and I had a different experience than what I did in that independent Baptist church.
Yes, sure.
I didn't feel like Jesus was shoved down my throat. I felt like it was a relationship.
Amen.
And so it was amazing for me that they did that.
Man.
So, yeah.
It's funny because I know you've talked about Hardin Simmons for a while. Well, I just happened to be there for the first time last week. And so that big, beautiful stained glass window in that chapel. I guess there's a new chapel now, bigger, but I was in maybe the old one.
Yeah, that's the old one. I've worshiped there many times.
But that thing is beautiful. I've never seen a window like that. It's just gigantic. We did a pastoral cohort in there across the hall in that.
Did you go see the football field?
Room. No, I need to go. That's where you used to run wild.
Well, no, they built a new stadium, and it looks amazing.
Hey, that's the stadium that you helped build.
I was only there a year, so I didn't really do much.
And so, man, he's so talented. He also sings, right? Right.
I do. Yeah.
You want to sing for us now?
We sure. Yeah.
What you got?
So most of the people on here know the song "His Eyes on the Sparrow."
Okay.
So,
let's hear it.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? I'm getting old. I don't sing much anymore.
That's good,
so,
bro. Yeah. I've tried to bust a whole bunch of people with trying to make them sing, but none of them can sing.
Well, I feel that coffee.
Mark knows because I'll be like, "Hey, why don't you rap or sing or something like that?" Right? No rapping, but he did sing, right, Mark? The producer, he's doing it. He's doing it.
But you know, I love music. I love to sing. As a pastor, I had this question asked me the other day by two guys that we went out to eat lunch with, and they said, "Terrin, why don't you sing more?" And I said, because I don't want it to be the Terrin Phillips show. If I preach, I don't sing. If I'm not preaching, I'll sing with the praise band every once in a while. But yeah, I traveled for several years and got to open for several different bands. Did the Nashville thing.
That's so awesome, right?
Yeah,
That's
cool.
so cool.
I enjoy it.
And so, out of your background of in the car and needing some hard coaching, right, to wake you up and to get you back, restored. I believe that's how you learned ministry a little bit and got equipped. So let's dig into that.
Okay.
First of all, how did the church get launched like that? Is that did you learn that in a church?
So, when I moved up to the Metroplex, I moved up to Dallas-Fort Worth that year after youth-led revivals. I didn't have any place to connect. I had this old dude come to my apartment. I'm in my underwear.
Yeah.
I answer the door. It was this huge guy. His name was Brother Al Hoops. He's 6'6". He says, "Hey man, I heard about you from James Langford, and I'm here to talk to you about being my youth pastor." And I was like, okay. He goes, "And you're going to lead worship at my church. I'm going to pay you $50. You're going to be there on Sunday. Here's the address. Show up." And I'm like, first of all, dude, who are you?
Yeah, wow.
And he just walks away. So I'm thinking, okay, $50. I mean, I working at McDonald's trying to get,
you need something.
So I get up, and I lead worship. I have no idea how I'm swinging my hands. I just knew how to sing, right? So I get up, and I got real frustrated because it was a bunch of older folks, and I'm up here really young in my 20s, and nobody was singing. And I'm not going to repeat what I said, but I was cussing as I'm leading worship, telling these people they need to blankety blank sing. And Brother Al's just sitting there. Little did I know, he had told them beforehand, "Hey, this dude is rough, and he loves Jesus, and he's going to challenge you." So I had these little old ladies come up and lay hands on me and say, "Terrin, we're going to pray for your mouth." And so they began to, again, mentor me to all these people, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
And I had a great experience. And then Brother Al was going to seminary at the time, and he introduced me to a guy named Corey Webb. And Corey Webb was at a church in Richland Hills, Texas, and Richland Hills Baptist Church. And he said, "Come over here and help me out." So I go over, and he began to teach me how to do youth ministry.
Yeah.
And through that, Corey, years later, he wound up leaving and moving up here to Alamo City Christian Fellowship Church. And that's when I got turned on to a church called City on a Hill.
Yeah.
Now, City on a Hill, I'm passionate about them. My daughter married one of their pastors. I went there for 15 years.
15.
I went there
Wow.
through recovery from drug, sex, alcohol addiction, all that kind of stuff. And it was hard. Tracy and I, my wife, were married about a year and a half maybe before we went there. And these people, we do hospital church ministry, and I'll explain what that is in a minute, but it's messy.
Yeah.
It's not just "let me pray for you, brother." It's that, but it's, "Are you lying to me?"
Yeah,
"Well, I think you're lying to me."
Yeah.
There's more to the story here. And we dig to get to the root to help people overcome their hurts and pains, you know. And so they were very instrumental in that. And again, one more set of people that got in my business and were willing to risk it because I would get angry at these people. I'd cuss them out, and they just kept coming back. Just kept coming back. They saw something in me. And the pastor that was there, James Reeves, man, one day he made me so mad. I literally took my arm and slung everything off his desk, and I won't repeat what I said to him either. And but he came back. And my wife asked me, she said, "Terrin, how'd it go with James?" And I said, "It went pretty good." And she said, "You're lying to me. Watch this." And she said, "I'm going to leave you tomorrow if you don't meet with him."
Wow.
And I was like, "What?" Now, I'm singing Christian music at this time.
Whoa.
Okay?
Man.
I'm traveling and singing, and I'm living this double life. A lot of artists do, just telling you.
Yeah.
A lot of pastors do too. And this is why I do the ministry I do now, because I know what it was like to do that.
Yeah.
And so he met with me the next morning, and he said, "Dude, you're like a 15-year-old little kid, naked in a dark room. You're that insecure." And he hit the head on the nail because he understood he was that way.
Yeah.
So those people mentored me and walked me through how to do ministry that was messy. We did that for many years. I went off and did my first youth ministry job and did that for a while. And then City on the Hill brought me back on staff there.
Amen. Hey, real quick. Yeah. You're listening to Church of the Week here on AM 630, The Word, KSLR.com. My name's Chad Schapiro. I'm blessed to be the host of this thing, and I'm thankful that we have Pastor Terrin Phillips up here from Refuge Church of San Antonio.
That's it.
And so if you missed the first part, get the podcast, go on YouTube, Facebook Live, get back in there and watch it because it's been good. So didn't mean to interrupt you. Just want to make sure everybody knows where we're at. I did mean to interrupt you, but I now want to get back into it. So the hospital church, they taught you how to do that. That's where we were.
Yeah. So hospital church ministry for us at Refuge today. So this is what it is. It is not your average church. Now, when you come, we have worship, we have small groups, we do groups in people's homes, Bible study groups in people's homes. But what we are best at is being real, honest, and blatantly intentional and deliberate at digging in with people to do life with them. Because what we find is most people bullcrap their way through church. Mm-hmm. They come to church, they sit, they play a game because they don't have a place that's safe for them. You know, we're told, go to church, man, give it to the Lord. But don't give it to anybody else. Yeah, because they'll know your stuff.
Oh man.
Well, here, listen. You know me. I'll tell you. I share my crud, whatever you want to call it, and
that's
I tell it on
thing.
Sunday.
Thank you, for using the word crud.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if what would happen.
FCC get ratings bad.
We'd be reined in quick.
Yeah. So I mean, my thing is, I share my stuff, my junk, and the reason why is because if I can't do it, or if I can do it, then my people will feel safe enough to do it. And so some people will say, well, Terrin, you share too much. And I'm like, well, is there really sharing too much?
Yeah.
If Jesus has saved me and he has redeemed me and turned my life around, I mean, the people we work with, you're talking about affairs, homosexuality, transgenderism, so many issues of today, of students that we've had to work with, adults, affairs. Listen, we have a ton of people that got irritated at Refuge Church because we held them accountable on issues. They left and they came back.
Yeah.
We have a church full of people that got irritated at me. And I said, I don't care, because I do care. I care enough to love people and speak it into them, because in the end, time works itself out. There's a phrase that my pastor friend James Reeves used to say, and he said, time and truth go hand in hand. And so what we do as a ministry is we have ministry leaders that they've walked through the process of the Life Change book. It's a 12-step book that we have. We do 15, 16 different books on finances. Good gosh, we did a transgender conference 2 years ago. We invited pastors all over San Antonio. We had one pastor come.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are issues that we deal with that are messy. It's hard conversations. But we're saying, not how would Jesus do this, but what does he want us to do to reach these people? So we have people that have been drug addicts. I have a girl that's she leads worship for us. Her mom came to us 15 years ago, or I have to say 13 years ago, lost her kid. She was a drug addict.
Yeah.
She went through the process. That lady's daughter is now our worship leader, and she helps lead worship. She works at CAM, Christian Alliance Network, in downtown San Antonio, and she walks around popping people with Narcan, bringing them back to life, and telling them about Jesus.
Wow.
That's the kind of stuff, people that we have. And then we have people that, middle class, upper class that come. We have people that have money. We have people that don't have money.
Yeah.
But when they come, they know it's a place to get real.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the greatest thing about Refuge, that they can go, and it don't matter what their social status is or where they're from, they can share their mess, and it's a safe place to work through it. So one of the phrases we say is, we want people to help people deal with and face life's tough issues while connecting with God and others.
Yeah.
So that's why we do what we do, man.
Man,
we love it.
I love it. And the reality is, this stuff coming to light, we see it every day in the media, that it's coming to light from the darkness, unfortunately. Yeah. It's coming out, getting caught, busted, not even necessarily restored properly. And you guys are literally trying to get in there and help them deal with the root of their mess that's slowing them down. And
well, we do it with pastors. I mean, we've worked with pastors who've had affairs and all this kind of stuff. I mean, myself, I've had failure after failure after failure through the time I accepted Christ, even up to now. I mean, my mind is full of all kinds of mess from my past. Mm-hmm. And some people say, well, Terrin, but you can't share that. And I'm like, yes, I have to share that because I need Jesus. Without him, I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is pastors, leaders, people that don't have a safe place to share it, they hide and they go back to the things they don't want to the most, what Paul talked about. Mm-hmm. So if you have a place that you can go to that's safe, you can lay it all out. Sure, it's a little scary at first.
Yeah.
But when you find people that they don't care about your mess because they care about you, Amen. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happening at our church, man. And it's crazy to see even the moving to a new place and not having the funds to be able to do what we're doing, but God going, well, let me show you how awesome I am.
Yeah.
So we're loving all that. It's great.
Yeah. So the move over there, do you have an address?
We do. So it's on 696 Gulf Street. We're going to be in building 130. Okay. Now, we don't have a COO yet, so right now, as of this coming Sunday, we'll be in Windcrest. But if we get that COO, we'll be at that address. We can. So we're waiting on the city.
And then what kind of so when they're thinking about coming, what other stuff do you guys do? Obviously, getting raw and real is the core for every one of us. Yeah. But what else?
So Sundays are not a time for you to grow. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. You're either going to love me or hate me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tick you off or not. You're going to. It's simple. But I preach nothing but the word. I'm diving into. I want to know what it says. My opinion doesn't make a difference. So that's Sundays. We have worship. We have kids ministry, which is amazing, and then we have our youth ministry. Our youth ministry is incredible. You need to come check it out. That's on Wednesday nights from 6 to 8. And then we have life groups in people's homes all throughout different cities, all across the San Antonio area on the east side. And they do Bible study. They have dinner together. And our Bible study leaders, man, they dive in deep. That's awesome. It took us 3 years to go through the book of Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, in our life group. And then we do on Wednesday nights, while the youth are doing their thing, we do revive groups. And those revive groups are those support groups. So if you come to our church and you have an issue, drugs, sex, alcohol addiction, having affairs, pornography, whatever issue it may be, anger, we try to connect you in a group. And if we don't have a group that you need, we'll find a group that you need. We'll create one and walk through life with you. Because that is where people you're walking through life, you're sidetracked with that. We take you through, walk you through it, help you get better.
Yeah.
And then we encourage you to stay in the process. Because what I know is without accountability and without Jesus and having these kind of relationships, I'm going to go back to the slop.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a lifelong process, and people to get set free from it, they love to stay in it. Because if you go to another church after experiencing Refuge, you're going to go, ooh, okay, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So it's amazing when you get set free. You don't want to go back.
So there's people listening right now that know that they're dealing, they got some hidden things, right? That can you, before we only got a little bit left, can you talk to them and what it might be like to come clean and come forward? They're nervous. They think they think they're hiding it from God or something, but obviously.
Here's the deal, man. It always comes out. Time and truth go hand in hand, and the truth always comes out. And here's the deal. Even if it didn't come out, it's in here. It will eat you alive. Refuge is a place that you can deal with that. We've walked people through some heavy mess, through going to court with people, all kinds of stuff, man. It is messy. But I'm telling you, God, because of everything I've been through in my life, he can take anything. If he can take me, he can take anything and turn it around for his glory. We see it. My church is filled with people, just like the examples I gave you. I got 10 more. Well, we don't have time. And so, come to Refuge.
It really is important. The God's not trying to take away your fun. He's trying to free you from things that are bonding you to the devil and to sin and hurting your life. So come on and join, get it out in the open, make it happen. Thank you for your time, bro. God bless you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us this week for Church of the Week. Please visit us online at am630theword.com for more information or to listen to previous Church of the Week programs. If you would like to recommend your church be featured on a future program, please email us at churchoftheweek@kslr.com.